Hello, ladies and gentlemen. On this new edition of Real Talk with Beat, we will discuss the MLB and the end of the lockout. So, to summarize, after 99 days, the MLB is back. As a fan, I'm gratefully appreciative that they're back. Now, in general, I feel that some of the stuff implemented here is not so hot compared to the last time, and I'm referring to the stuff on the field. No more pitchers hitting. That's kind of a tweak to something from past times. Also, you know, 9 inning doubleheaders. That'll be a little much. And no 1 game playoff. 12 team tournament slash playoff situation. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff, but I think in essence, we have a bunch of, so to say, stuff that, like the runner on second, for example, in the extra innings, they should have kept that. Now, they're not going to keep that during the regular season. All the games are coming back, 162. But I think some of the stuff that's implemented is a bit of an issue in terms of gameplay because the 1 game playoff was a hit. I think a lot of this stuff now is for reasons to kind of, maybe if you win 100 games like the Giants or the Dodgers, you don't lose in one fall swoop. But, sometimes depending on how the game is played, that's what you get. Some teams are not competitive, i.e. the Orioles. So it sounds a little convoluted what I'm saying, but to summarize quickly, they're going to have a universal DH, doubleheaders back to regular instead of 7, not knowing if that's a necessary situation, and the runner on second is going to be eliminated along with the 1 game playoff. I mean, there are a lot of things here that they took away, which I feel in essence is not something that they should have done. But overall, I think it's something that at least they're back. I mean, I'm a fan of this discourse between the players and the owners because they equally get exposed when you have discourse. I think universally nowadays this needs to happen more often, where you have a bunch of people willing to have these type of conversations and go at it with each other. I think it's very warranted to have. And I think, and there's one other thing as well that I think that should be mentioned here, which is basically the players should have a little more representation in terms of different nationalities depending on, I think out of the 8-player committee who voted against this, which is amazing, but the players, vote, I think, was a 26-14, 26-12 to get back to playing overall between the teams. I think having, one Latin representation is not enough. I think Lindor is the guy. And then you heard about Lance McCullers, the pitcher. He's one of the representatives. Obviously, he's white. Well, I don't know his nationality directly, pardon me. But in general, I think there should be some more mixture of players from different countries to have a broader perspective. And, the Dominican Republic clearly is something that should get more play because, obviously I'm of Dominican origin, so that would help. They have a perspective. They breed a lot of young phenoms and Dominican, so have a little Puerto Rican. The Puerto Rican, put the Dominican in there, put the Venezuelan. What else? I mean, there's a bunch of other nationalities. Even if you're of an American, I mean, there's different. I mean, even the Japanese. I mean, we need a mixture here so we don't have this contention. And I think Boris, in general, was a bit of a thing here. Negotiating tactic, okay. Mind you, the way he was running it, we weren't going to play baseball still. So, I'm very thankful and grateful for this. I think, it comes down to opportunities. It comes down to the Rule 5 draft and all this stuff. The draft too. They're talking about the international draft with young players, stuff like that. They kind of tabled that for now. But the key is the players. That's why the union is created, and that's why this was going on, so this can be able to have a better flow and have representation, because that's why you have unions in this particular sense. These are how unions supposed to work. So I'm all for the union, for the players having a voice, and the CBT and all this stuff. It's like, okay, thresholds, luxury tax. Those are things you can kind of work around, but generally speaking, this whole process exposed a lot of like comfortableness that the owners still have, how the game is played, because they're making a lot of money, and the players, they just want to get every little inch that they can in order for them to have a prosperous career. And also think about the younger generation as they boosted up the salaries to like $7,000 as well. But in general, I think a lot of the rule changes going back to the same, with the amazing thing having universal DH, is a little much. I think it takes a little creativity out of the game. Not having the pitcher sit takes out of innings out of National League, but it gives more opportunities for guys that are older in age to get signed and play in other cities, which is fine. But I think at some point, there is some skill to this sport, and that's what makes this sport unique. And, that is something that for me as a fan, I'm a little bit indifferent about it. So to summarize, I'm happy they're back. They settle things. But a lot of the stuff for this current season, and on top of the other stuff that they're talking about, the pitch clock and everything, and the elimination of shifts, very encouraging for the following season. Let's see if it holds up, because definitely the pitchers and the rhythm of the game and the shifting definitely needs to be cut down or completely done with, because it has made the product, even for a fan as myself, very difficult to consume, because it devalues the actual skill of the players. Hitting, hand-eye, actual skills, defense, strategy. I mean, what kind of strategy in general is it when it's obvious if a guy's going to hit one side because the numbers say it? Let's keep it to the players on the field. You can have some statistics, but let's not oversaturate it. So overall, that's coming down the line. But for this video, some of the stuff, overall, not a fan of the new stuff, but I'm generally happy that the game is back. Let's see what happens in the future. Only God will tell what will happen in the future. But as a fan, I'm very grateful that they're back. And let's hope that we have a very exciting season, like this particular year, because this year was pretty interesting. I don't know about the pandemic year, or the epidemic year as they say, because I don't really consider that a season. So this has been Real Talk with B for this evening, or this day, or this time. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you like, and till next time, blessings.